Well, good evening, fellow scrappers and scrapettes. Scrappy D back with another video. I ran a video this morning, but I had moved the camera, or I shifted my chair, or some such thing, so everything that should have been centered here wound up over here, and the video was not the quality I usually like to try to put out. Yesterday I did a video about power supplies. We looked at all different kinds of power supplies. We talked a little bit about whether they should be shredded or if they should be shipped or what to actually do with them. You'll watch 5 or 6 different scrap videos and you'll get 5 or 6 different opinions on what to do with them. A lot of it's going to depend on if you have a local buyer or not. Shipping this to Board Sort, even though they do pay 40 cents a pound for the brown and green low-grade boards, it's really not cost effective. I live in Connecticut. That's not an effective thing for me to do. Throwing things into shred is not really effective either, but you've just got to weigh out your options. Biggest problem right now is I don't have a yard that I can work with. That was a big loss. Long story made short, I got booted out of the yard, which I did business with for a long time, because they kept shorting me. I had my materials weighed and sorted, brought it all in nice and clean, ready to go, weigh me, pay me, and they kept shorting me. So, of course, I kept complaining, and they basically told me to take a hike. I had also taught them all about e-scrap and helped them set up an e-scrap business, and that's what I got for it. But it's okay. It's going to be a little bit of an inconvenience for me until I can find another scrap yard to work with. There's another yard locally. They don't pay as well, but I like the way it's run. You drive up to it's like doing non-ferrous Jeff. You drive up to the building, they come out, they help you unload, they walk you in, they let you see the scale, they ask you if you approve of the ticket before they print it. That's the way you're supposed to do it. If they don't agree with your count or something else, it's done professionally and not like I was treated before. The problem is they don't pay as well. And I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I'm hoping to find another yard. Problem right now is it's very, very cold, and traipsing all over the state of Connecticut looking for a yard is just not in my wheelhouse right now. So I will have to stockpile for a while and go from there. The high grade stuff, yeah, I can ship that out to Board Sort. That's fine. There's a couple of yards. There's one in Meriden, which is about 45 minutes from me, and there's another in New York. Again, I just can't do anything until the weather gets a little bit better, and I'll have to establish myself with a new business partner to sell e-scrap to. In the meantime, make the best of it. We'll do some videos. Hopefully share some of the things that I've learned over the past 5 years of doing this. I never really thought about doing videos before. I never really had time. But I do now, so I'm hoping my knowledge, my experience will help some of you who are new to this whole process. So, I did this entire bin. I'm gonna pick this up and hopefully I'll put it down right this morning. These are the boards from last night that we looked at and we talked about. As you can see, I've broken them all down. I now have the metal sitting in my car in a bin ready to be sent to the scrapyard. I have everything in bins. I weigh out my bins. It's easier for me than standing there freezing and it's all sorted when I get there. It just makes it quicker and easier for myself. I stack them up. It's a lot easier on my truck. So these boards here, after much deliberation and much consideration over the past couple of days, where I've been focusing on power boards, my amended opinion is going to be try and get the aluminum, try and get the copper toroids, copper spools, things like that. And try to get the toroids. And these transformers, I don't think it's worth taking them off and shipping this board. I just don't. So there's really, most yards will take this as shred because there's a lot of metal on it. If it was all plastic, maybe not. So I'm going to be throwing this in with my shred, and because I'm doing that, I'm going to leave these copper transformers on. There's a lot of paper, there's a lot of glue. This is just a lot of work to get at the copper that's under it. This one I'll probably put aside because this one I might try and do. This is ferrite, and it's what iron is made out of. But it's very black, it's dusty, it is magnetic. Again, something you could put into the shred. It makes a real mess in the house. If you don't have a shop or you can't work outside, you don't want to bother with this. I'll put this aside for my summer bucket. I've already taken off copper from here. Try and get this one off if I can. I really should be wearing gloves. And one of these days I'm going to cut myself again and decide that, oh yeah, you should wear gloves. I've cut myself more times than I can tell you. My excuse is that my hands don't always work as well as they should. And the gloves make it difficult for me to work. This is a copper MOSFET. And if you can see this one, but it did break. And there's copper. It's a nice piece of copper in here. The legs, this is what attaches to the power board. They're copper. And that's what's inside of the MOSFET. You can get a nice piece of number 2 copper out of there if you so choose. Scrap It All has a really good video on how to get these apart. He puts them into the vise and he literally just pries this piece off. My original thought was going to be to smash these with a hammer, float the plastic off, and have the copper remain. This is a very hard piece of plastic. I was not able to crush it with a hammer. So for the time being, MOSFETs are in a little bin over there by themselves. I do cut the legs off. I have a little this is just from today. I have a little jar of copper pins. This is my biggie here. This is my gold pins that I've been accumulating. Makes me very sorry that I sold so much stuff to the scrapyard that did me dirty here. It's too bad. I will get over it. It's just going to take me a little time. I know the good Lord has another plan of some type for me. He hasn't let me down yet, and I know he won't, so, you know, just something I'll have to adjust to and spend the winter finding a new place to do business. So most of the copper you'll find on here, copper. I wish this was copper. It would make a nice little chunk of money. These are aluminum. They are going to go in as old sheet, at least at my yard. Your yard may pay differently, and again, this is just, you know, general rule of thumb. The yards around here, they're gonna pay sheet, old sheet for this. You know, you might want to try the extruded aluminum argument. I wish you luck at the local yard, because they don't deal with e-scrap. That's extruded aluminum, all day, every day. Beautiful piece of clean extruded aluminum. They're not going to pay me extruded. They're going to pay me old sheet. If you don't get the nuts and bolts off, and you don't get the little pieces of steel off, if there's any magnetism here at all, they're going to downgrade the entire thing to irony aluminum. Hopefully light irony, but they're going to downgrade you. So it's your responsibility to run your magnet over these things and make sure there are no steel screws or no steel clips. Got to sort your own stuff, and you've got to have it sorted out. What they would do is just theoretically, and again, you know, they're trying to make the buck too. Everybody is. So they're going to pay you for the lowest value that they possibly can. So here's my load as it sits right now. I have a whole garbage can sitting out in the back of the car for a warmer day. I have already checked each and every one of these. I have gotten all of the metal off. The sticky stuff doesn't really matter so much. It would if they were paying me extruded, they would want that off. But they're going to pay me old sheet no matter what I do. I've already taken all of the metallic things off of here. I'm not going to worry about the sticky stuff because they are going to put it in as old sheet. It's got to be clean, but you've got to run a magnet. I already have, but you want to run a magnet through all of this, because if they find one little bit of steel, they're going to take all of this and they're going to say, okay, that's X number of pounds of irony light. You're going to lose 10 cents a pound. So, you've got to be responsible for checking your own stuff. This piece right here, as it is, that would be irony aluminum. Why? Because it has iron in it. I'm going to clean that off, obviously, and get it looking like that. So, irony aluminum, old sheet, extruded, good luck. Also, extruded, good luck. I've been doing this a long time, and I have fought about extruded aluminum with every yard in Connecticut. As I said, I'm out of options right now. I'm kind of stuck with what they're going to pay me, and I know before I get there what I'm going to get. So I'll try to save my arguments for something I'll win. I should move to Florida. I could go see Non-Ferrous Jeff. That's how a yard should be run. Okay, let me put this all away. And there's my dirty over there. I've got the dirty is in another bucket. It's a matter of if I have time to clean it or not. If I have time to clean it, I will. If I don't, at least it's separated and it's not going to get into anything. This stuff is messy as anything. These came off of computer boards. They were over chips. And again, extruded. They're going to either call it clips or old sheet. So what I'm left with is a board that now looks like this. This came out of a computer power supply. You'll see boards like this sometimes in like microwaves, washing machines, backs of stoves. I took off the transformer that was here because I wanted to get at the aluminum that was here. I couldn't get at it without taking that off. I'm not going to bother taking anything off of here. I've decided to throw this into shred. That's ferrite. That's ferrite. These are not good wire bearing, copper bearing transformers. They're really rubbishy. This is all paper and plastic and stuff like that. A little bit of value to the bottom of this board. Again, it's going to go as low grade. If you have a yard that buys low grade, you're golden. If not, I would say put it in the shred. That is an amended opinion from yesterday. Probably because I've scrapped 500 power boards in the past 2 days. couple other examples. This is similar to what I just did. You'll find these in PCs, desktop computers, things like that. This I probably would go for. That's pretty easy copper to get at. It's a nice nice copper. I'll take this off. I'll take this. Try to get that and try to get that. The rest of it I will just throw in shred. I will get the MOSFET off and I will clip the copper legs and save the MOSFET. That's pretty similar to the one I just did, so I'm going to put that aside. This one, I think came out of a server. Not 100% sure. I've got so many of these now that I don't remember what's come out of what. So this would go as a mid-grade board if you were to sell it to Board Sort. It's green and green. Got a lot of nice chips on the back. It's not really a bad board. They happen to pay the same price for low and mid-grade boards like this. But as I said, for me right now to ship them to Ohio from Connecticut, I've decided it's not worth it. The boards, oh yeah, those are worth shipping. You know, your green motherboards, your gold-fingered RAM. Those things, yes, they are definitely worth it. So get this guy off. I'll get the copper MOSFET off. I'll get any metal clips off, and we'll clean that up. I just got to get this off real quick, and that will go into old sheet. Sometimes there's a screw inside of here. This one doesn't have it. This one just screws off. Hopefully. That little, since it's not going as extruded, it doesn't really matter too much about the silver paste. There is no other metal on this. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the old sheet. You know, but sometime before this video is over, I'm going to call it the oh shit pile, right? I do things like that. Copper. Rubbishy transformer. Capacitor. Aluminum shred or aluminum breakage. This one might be worth going after. There's some copper wire. But nothing really extraordinary here, so we will try and get the toroid off without breaking the ferrite and making a mess. Yeah, I mean, you could take a hammer and bash this off if you needed to. Again, I don't like the mess and the dust. So if I can't get it easily, it's either going to sit in a bin until I get a nice day and can go outside, or just get scrubbed. You can take these copper donuts, toroids. This is ferrite. It is magnetic and it makes a very nasty black dust. It's very, very dirty. You can put this into the vise, put it between the jaws, close your vise, and this will break right here. You can then retrieve the copper off of that. Again, that can be a little bit messy. You don't want to cut those if you don't have to. There's really no need to. You can smash them with the hammer too, but you don't want to breathe the ferrite in. It's really toxic. Matter of fact, a lot of the stuff on these computers is very toxic. Okay, we'll snip the alley off. I'll probably go back and just nip these legs off too. These are copper. probably should have tried to get this off first. If there's a nut on the other side, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to have to break it. Sometimes they cooperate. If there's a little hex nut on the other side, then you have to, you'll have to break it off this way. But these MOSFETs do hold the aluminum onto the board. Okay, so that's going to have to come off. That's steel, and I'll take the tape off. And then I should have a clean piece of aluminum. Let me get these MOSFETs off because I do want the copper legs. Snip. Snip. And we'll go after these really quickly. I could have done that another way. You can't really see it. It's not going to show up on camera, but these legs are copper as well. You can see it at the very end. You can see the very pretty copper popping through. Okay. That off. Yeah, gotta unscrew it. Sometimes you get lucky. And again, there's no screws on the back side. There's no nuts on the back side here, so this one isn't really a problem to get off. By the time you're done, really, if you're doing power boards, you really do get a pretty good bunch of aluminum. As again, I'm really doing a little more micro scrapping tonight. I don't really have that many computers left to finish up. I'll probably finish up the last of the computers I have here tomorrow. I can't really get out to do any pickups. There was no school today. It was Martin Luther King Day, and I haven't really had any calls. If any of you live in the Fairfield County, Connecticut area, I do professionally recycle computers. I will take the hard drives out. I will destroy them. I will give you a certificate that says I have destroyed your data, and I'll recycle the computer in a responsible way. I'll take the monitors. I do that as part of the package. I'll take monitors, I'll take the mice, I'll take the keyboards. I do have a relationship with some place where I can dispose of those, and then I'll just recycle the computers, like you see me doing here. Okay, so again, nice chunk of aluminum. I've got to get this piece of steel off, and I've got to unscrew this. Okay, that goes. Ooh, that fell right off. That was nice of it. Now I don't want to cut this off. I want to pull it. Because if I cut it off, I'm still going to have steel in there, and I don't want to take a chance of getting downgraded. Guaranteed they will use a rare earth magnet, which again, you know, they don't want to get ripped off either. So what happens is if there's metal in the load, they actually get downgraded. So they're not going to take that chance. If they sell somebody a pallet of extruded aluminum and there's metal in there, they're going to have a problem. That buyer's going to say, hey, you know, you didn't sell me pure aluminum. And it causes a problem for the yard. So right now, I'm going to put this one aside. I do want to try to get the piece of steel out out of there. One more go at it here. I have a better pair of pliers down in the basement for removing this. But again, I don't want to get downgraded either, so I'm probably just going to leave this guy in with my dirty stuff. Hold that for one little bit. Oop. Yeah, okay, so that's going to go in with my dirty aluminum because of this fella right here. This is going to now go as shred. I'll clip off the MOSFETs and I will throw this in with my shred, cut off the legs, get my copper, go get a cup of tea, and I think it's time for bed because I had to redo this morning's video. I was not happy with it. Get these guys off. Just as I said, I have really amended my position about these boards. I had originally said, well, you know, get the copper, get the aluminum, and ship the board out. I no longer think that's cost effective. And you wind up amending your decision about what you're going to do when you don't have a good yard to work with. But enough of that. Alright, so that's what's left on the board. There's no more copper. I've already gotten it all off at this point. A little rinky-dink thing here. And I don't think any of these transformers are worth pulling. Front and the back. I could either sell it as a mid-grade board-to-board sort. They will buy these. I don't think it's cost-effective to ship them. I'm going to put it in with my shred for now until I can make some of the decision about it. I think that's going to be it for tonight. It's been a long day. I was out shoveling early this morning, and I'm going to have to get up very early tomorrow morning and get sand and salt out. We have a school bus stop in front of the house, and I don't want anybody to fall and get hurt. I'm assuming there's going to be a delay because the buses are all diesel, and diesel in cold weather are not friends, but still, I don't want to take a chance. We not only have the school bus, but we have a regular bus stop in front of the house, and there's a lot of senior citizens in the area. I've done what I can, but once the sun goes down, there's really nothing you can do about the salt and the sand. It did dry up mostly today, so hopefully it'll be okay. Tomorrow the problem is going to be the cold. If you wanted to get a little more off this board, you can get these flat packs. This is actually not a bad board. A lot of stuff on it. This is good value for this board. I just really am kind of in that spot where I'm just not sure what to do. I probably will just put it in my shred for now and decide what to do with it later. Right now, I just don't know. When in doubt, wait. I think if the price of shred was a little bit better, I wouldn't even have a question about it. Alright, that is a wrap for tonight. Always want to clean the screws up. They go into the screw bucket so they don't get into my feet and my tires and all over the house. Let's go in the bucket with a lid. And that's a wrap. Have a good evening. Stay warm, stay safe, stay wonderful. Good night, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.